will admit that I don't know any of her policies because it never got out in the mainstream. And no, I didn't go search her webpage to find out what her policies were. So I don't have a good answer for that.
No, no, first question I can't answer, dude. I'm
There you
finally,
go.
Parker finally
kinda
stunned,
just
actually.
you
Look
just
at that,
presented
everybody. Look
exactly
how
what you thought I
stunned
was
silent Parker was, actually.
So, so go ahead with your other things that he. Okay, let me ask you this: can you say anything, not one thing that Trump has done good? Is there anything he's done good?
Operation Warp Speed. Now, can you name a single policy of Kamala Harris's that you agree with?
Well, the problem with that is I never, and I tried because I'm independent, right? Yeah, but I vote Trump and I support Trump, but I'm independent. I guess you could also say. So let me answer your question first. I don't know what her policies are. If I had to go back to what they were in California, then no, I can't name any. If you want to
Not a
give me a
single thing. So,
suggestion,
so do
I
you
would
realize how
concede.
you actually were going to ask me if I imagine if I answered your question? No. What would you have said if I answered your question? No. There's not a single thing I could point to that Trump's done that I think is good. What would your response
Yeah,
have been?
well, okay. So, all right. So, if you want to ask me about Biden, who is actually president,
Can you
then
answer my
that would be
question?
more
Like, what would your
equivalent.
response have
You asked
been
me about
if I
Harris.
responded that no, there's not a single thing I could point to that Trump did that I think is good?
Fine. I mean, what do you mean? What do you think I'm going to say? Where were you thinking I was going with that?
Sir, I'm asking you right now. I'm asking you, how do you think you would have
I would say,
responded?
okay, I answered you. I would say, okay. So,
I think you would have been like, oh, I think that's actually demonstrating of how you can't see anything that Trump could do that is right, possible. Like that's what I would have
yeah, no,
expected
no,
the
I
response to be.
wouldn't suggest that.
You
It wouldn't
wouldn't?
suggest that. Here's the difference. You asked me about Harris. I will admit that I don't know any of her policies because it never got out in the mainstream. And no, I didn't go search her webpage to find out what her policies were. So I don't have a good answer for
Did you
that,
watch the
right?
debates?
But I will say with Harris, yeah, sorry, yeah, I did. So
So
I
she
would
explained her
say that
policies there.
Harris has Harris may have some good policies, right? Like for instance, I agree on the abortion. This is a woman's choice. I agree with that, right? But if you want to give me suggestions that I'm just not recalling, I would admit that they're good. But you're
Well, then you
educated
just
and
gave
you
one.
are
You
you
just gave one. It seems like you agree. You think that we should protect women's access to abortion. So then why didn't you vote
correct.
for
Not
that?
up until the moment of birth, but yes.
Okay, that's not what Roe versus Wade did. Roe versus Wade said up until viability, it's federally protected, and then after viability, it's left up to the states.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. I just think that a woman should have the choice in the end. I think that we should also have a little bit more,
So why didn't you vote for that?
compassion for a father that should be able to have a little bit of say, not the whole say.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait. What do you mean by a little bit of say? So let's say that
Like
the
like
let's say the woman doesn't want to go through a pregnancy. The man does want her to go through the pregnancy. Should he be able to force her to go through that pregnancy?
see, you just twisted my words. I said he should be able to have a little bit of say, and you even repeated myself,
So when
right?
you
You
say a
repeated me.
little bit of say in it, what does that even mean?
It means like this, right?
Like
So
you can
the way
express
that
your
the
opinion?
well, and or make suggestions. Like, all right, you want me to give you another personal situation with that?
We don't need a
So
personal
so
situation. I just want to know like what is morally permissible under your
well,
view for like a guy.
I,
Like
I,
what how much say do you think he should have?
so I think that he should be able to go, hey, listen, you don't have to keep the baby if you'll go through this pregnancy and you're willing to do that. I'll take the baby, no child support, no anything. I just would like to have the baby. Would you consider that, right? And of course, the woman would have the ultimate choice, the tiebreaker or whatever you want to call it, right? But I think that should be um, more in the face of everybody to have the man to have that kind of you know freedom to say those things where right now it's like you can't say a damn word. It's a woman's body and a woman's choice. You understand
Well,
my nuance?
here's what you can say. You can say, if you decide to have the child but don't want to take care of the child, I'd be willing to take care of the child, but I'll support you either way, whether you decide to have the child or not have the child.
Correct. Correct. But the problem is that the way that our our society has gone to is that's not even in a lot of cases, or most, I would say, not even considered seriously by the woman. No, it's my body, my choice. Yeah, and you know that's true. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
wait,
just the way.
so that's true, but then you can also say like, I'll be there to support you no matter what decision you make, and that's still there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Again,
You'll
there's a
be there
lot of
to
nuances to it, but we kind of got sidetracked on the Harris thing with
now
that. But
let me
I
get to the
think we
point that
agree.
I want to make is that if you specifically do think this, why weren't you willing to vote for it? Because Harris was wanting to protect access to abortion. Donald Trump is the one who left it up to the states by putting people in the Supreme Court with the
So,
explicit reason of overturning Roe versus Wade.
well, I'll explain that because I am 1,000% not a single issue voter. Are you?
No.
Okay. So, when you add up all of these things and you make things, I have to vote for what's going to make me and my family more successful and more safe in those things, right?
Okay, so then like what
And
about
obviously,
Trump
you know that
makes
the
you
border
better
was a
off?
huge issue
Let me just clarify.
for
What about
everybody,
Trump makes you
right?
better off insofar as that you're willing to overlook things such as that you obviously already agree with?
Well, but because first off, the way that you're kind of presenting Trump is he's taking away these things. Nobody's taking away abortion; they are just
He did.
limiting it for state.
No one's taking it
It's
away.
not.
They're just limiting it.
No, I'm saying the states do that. Trump,
Yeah, but Trump's the one leaving it up to the states, which
Trump
inevitably
may have
then restricts
supported the Roe
access.
versus Wade. So again, there may be states out there that say no abortion. I'm not aware of it, but there may be. But again, in my area, it's not like that. I think it's set too quick. I think 6 weeks is not enough. I think it should be more along the lines of 20 weeks. But I think that's what the voters need to be able to decide, and as a whole, without taking the rights away from women to make that decision. I think there's a lot
But
of
they have
problems with
taken
that
the rights
abortion
away,
issue.
and you know that it was federally protected prior.
Right. Yeah, but well, I don't. Wait. Are you telling me that abortion in no limits was federally protected? I mean, no limits at all up to moment of birth.
No, no. So abortion was federally protected up until viability, right? And then it
What
was
what
left
what
up to
is
the
the
states
viability
after
weeks?
viability. What's that?
What weeks is viability?
Around 24 weeks.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm not in any argument on that. I've already said that I support the woman's choice, and I would support that. I think 24 is a little stretch, but I think it's okay. It's fine. But I named one. Now you name one.
Me name one for what?
But that good thing that Trump did. I think you might have
I
said
already
something
did
to the
Operation
amendment.
Warp Speed.
Was it?
Operation Warp Speed.
Okay. Name one in this term,
Name one in this term.
not related to COVID.
Like a whole
Yeah,
policy.
I don't want to relate it to COVID. That's a pandemic. That's not an everyday thing.
Like a whole policy.
Anything. I don't care what it is. Sure. I know. I
I
feel
don't
the
know.
same way
First question I
sometimes.
can't answer, dude. I'm
There you
finally
go. There you
Parker
go. So you
finally
kind of
stunned.
just
Actually,
you just
look at that,
presented
everybody.
yourself
Look
exactly
how
what you thought I
stunned
would
silent
say.
Parker was. Actually, couldn't answer that simple question, right? Look at him. Yeah, I don't know. That
Well,
maybe
it is a
there's
simple
the AI
question.
one. There's the the one specifically with the deep fakes that they passed. I guess that's like the only policy I
The,
could think of, or
the
like
AI.
maybe the TikTok deal. I guess like not even really
Okay.
happy
So
about how that it landed up anyway,
all
but
right, so let's do a test then. So if you had to answer these questions, and we'll go back and forth. I'll ask one, you ask one, and you have to answer yes or no without having your how it gets done or nuances. You have to say yes or no. Then let's go back and forth. So you want to start, or do you want me to start?
you start. I'm not really sure what you mean.
Okay. All right. So do you think that the border should be secure and no illegal immigration no illegal immigrants get released into the country? Yes or no?
I think the border should be secure. I don't believe in this
See,
idea that we can completely get rid of every undocumented
well,
immigrant in the country.
all right. So I kind of ask you to resist doing that. Just yes or no. You can talk about the nuances in a different setting, but in this setting, it's yes or no. Would you like a secure border that does not allow illegal immigrants to come into the country?
No.
Okay. All right. You asked me one. Oh, wait.
Can I
Let's
add the
go ahead and add
context
to
on
it. I'll
top?
tell you yes. I'll tell you my answer rather
Can
than
I
you tell
add
me
the
yours. So my
context
answer
on
is yes.
top?
Pardon me?
Can I add the context on top?
Yeah. Well, let's go through a few of these first and then come back to it. Sure.
No.
Of
I
course
want to
not.
add the extra
You don't.
context.
Well, no, no. I'm trying to set this thing up to where you can't do that, and you want to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it either. Ask me a question like that, yes or no, whatever you
Okay.
want.
Would you vote for someone who's held civilly liable of abusing a woman?
Um, no.
No. Okay, so you wouldn't vote for Trump.
Wait. It's my turn, right? Um, would you? We've already done the abortion for the sake. Would you? Do you? Would you want Iran to have a nuclear weapon?
No.
Okay, my answer is also no. Go ahead.
Okay. Would you vote for someone who got Iran closer to a nuclear weapon?
No.
Trump did that
All right.
too.
Well, you don't have to clarify. I mean, I'm answering directly. So, would you? Or are you, in any way? Are you more? Wait a second. Do you support less crime?
Yes.
Okay. My answer is also yes. Go ahead.
Would you ever support a criminal for president?
But you just can't find something new, right? No. No. Would you? Do you support um, Somali fraud?
I don't support any fraud. No.
Good. Good. Go ahead.
Do you support? Would you ever support a candidate for president that pardoned fraudsters?
No.
Trump did that one too.
Well, oh, yeah, you think so? So, so would you support a president that doesn't burn the American flag?
That doesn't?
Oh, wait. Would you
Yes.
support a president that does burn the American flag?
Yeah, I could.
Okay. I would say no.
I think that's possible. That's not a preferable thing. Like, I don't like burning the flag, but I would support them in despite of that. Yeah.
Okay, your turn. And I'll have one more.
One more. Would you ever vote for someone who called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution?
I wouldn't support anybody that violates the Constitution.
Well, Trump's done that too.
Yeah. You again. These are all things that you want to talk about, which is fine. So the last one. Oh God, I just lost it. Wow. I guess I'll just ask this: do you believe that Trump is actually from Epstein Island?
I don't think there's any evidence he's been on the island, but I think the first claim is true. Yeah, I mean, he was credibly accused by a minor in the Epstein files who got a settlement with the Epstein estate.
What was her name?
Jane Doe 4.
What was her real name?
Jane Doe 4.
Yeah, and didn't she come out and say something to the contrary of that?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Look up NPR investigation into DOJ's scrubbing files associated with interviews about allegations against Trump.
Sure. Do you think that the Epstein files were dominated by liberal Democrats, politicians, donors, CEOs, entertainers, even Epstein himself?
Dominated? No, I wouldn't say dominated by, but I would say that there were people who were Democrats within it that I would say should be held accountable. There are people who are independents in there that should be held accountable. There are people who are Republicans in there that should be held accountable. There are people of all political ideologies there that should be held accountable.
I'm struggling to think of one Republican that's been mentioned, but you may be right.
Trump?
No, Trump was not a Republican then.
Okay, so you don't think Trump was a so Trump, because he was a Democrat then, but now is a Republican, isn't going to be classified. No. He's a Republican right now. That's just ridiculous.
No,
How about this? Howard
right.
Lutnick, sir? Do you know who Howard Lutnick is?
I'm not familiar with Howard.
He's a guy on the Trump admin who was caught on picture with Epstein on the island, and Trump hasn't fired him.
So there is one Republican, and he's always
at least one. Elon Musk too. Elon Musk begged to be on the island at least.
Is Elon Musk a Republican?
Yeah.
I think he was a Democrat then. I don't know if he is now. I know he supports.
I don't know
Republicans.
if he was a Democrat then even, but
I thought he was an independent. I'm sorry, I may be wrong. All right. So my question is, how do you reconcile the fact that the files are dominated by people that are traditionally liberal Democrats, like the entertainers, donors, and most of the donors
Can you name them?
high-end donors. How do you reconcile that by just pointing the finger at one man?
Can you name two?
To name two what?
Democrat.
Clinton, both of them.
Hillary was not in the files. Also,
Really?
I mean, the pictures you have of Bill, like, I mean, if you think that they indicate that he's responsible, then you definitely think Trump's responsible, right?
Yeah, listen, here's my take on it. I think we should hang every single one of them, no matter what their party affiliation is. I think they all should go to jail.
So then why wouldn't you want to do that to Trump and the people who he's protecting in there? He literally tried to prevent the release of the Epstein files. He's like, Marjorie, please don't vote on releasing this. This will hurt my friends. This will hurt my friends. Marjorie, please. Please don't, Marjorie.
Okay, so I'll tell you. So I don't want it to be only Trump, and that's what you want.
Well, I don't want it to be only Trump held accountable. That's ridiculous. I want everyone to be held accountable. I said that already.
Then quit fighting so much against Trump and say all of them when you talk about it. You only reference Trump.
Because we're talking about why people support Trump, sir. Anyone who's in the Epstein files who's done that should be held accountable. Every single one of them. I never once said only Trump.
How about you name two? How about you name two Democrats who are in the Epstein files?
Name two Democrats in the Epstein files. I think you already named them, right?
So you didn't have any better answer than me. All right. So here's the thing.
I don't see the need of having to name people. The point that we need to say is that anyone.
You asked the question first.
The point is that anyone, regardless, right, of their perspective, who is in the context of the files, should be held accountable, regardless.
Perfect. So here's the end comment on that. Do you understand? Because and you can say it's my opinion, but everybody can do their research. That the Epstein files are dominated by liberals, Democrats, progressives, leftists. And
you're being dishonest. When you say dominated by, you're being ridiculous. Wait, can you acknowledge that Donald Trump has prevented?
The files.
Pause. Okay. Pause. Can you acknowledge that Donald Trump has prevented the release of the Epstein files?
Yeah. You know, I also know that Trump's the only one that has released them.
What? You understand that like no one else could have because it was sealed by a court? So like he's legally obligated to release all of it, and he didn't release all of it. Like think about it this way. If you're the first kid to ever get let me explain. If you're the first kid in the first class to ever get assigned a specific type of homework, and you're said you have to do all of the homework. No other class has done this homework before. And you turn it in and you've done about 50% of it. You say, I've done more than no one has ever actually done before. No student in the history of all your students has done any more than I have on this particular assignment. I've done the most of any student in history, okay, actually. The greatest, actually. You, as a teacher, are sitting there. They did 50% of the homework assignment. What would you grade them? Would you grade them with an A 100% because they've done the most like you've ever seen before, okay? Or would you say that they failed because they only did 50% of the assignment?
No, I don't think anybody being grandiose is going to get them a better grade, and I don't support DEI, so I don't care. Don't give him a 50. I don't care. Give him a failing grade. Who cares?
Okay. So he fails. So then you're saying that he failed in releasing the Epstein files, even though he's legally obligated to do so. He tried to prevent the release.
You're saying
he called it a hoax. He said that anyone that wants the release of the Epstein files never supported him in the first place.
Okay. All right. So I understand your argument, and you can hang on to that. Good with it. Totally disagree, but we can't. This argument's never going to go anywhere. But I will tell you this:
if
the Epstein files get released, let me say this last thing.
Okay.
So the last thing I was trying to get to is all of that comments I was making earlier was this. If the Epstein files get released, it will totally dismantle the Democratic Party, and I'm good with it.
If it does, good, right? Like I don't want anyone to not be held accountable. I want all of them to be held accountable, right? What the fuck?
Good.
So then you're saying Donald Trump is protecting so you're saying Donald Trump is protecting PDF Democrats in the file?
I'm not saying Donald Trump is doing anything. You are.
What? You're claiming that there are Democrats.
If he's protecting the,
you said that there are Democrats all over these files that haven't been released yet. So then why isn't Trump releasing it?
I think it's more plausible that he's protecting American politics and because listen, the total dismantleization of the Democratic Party would not do this country well.
Okay, so you're saying he doesn't want to dismantle the Democratic Party, even though that's what he says all the time.
No, I think he does. I just don't think anybody else does.
But he's the one who's preventing the release of the files, sir.
Yeah, so you're saying personally, Trump is not releasing the files. Personally.
Yeah, personally, he's prevented the release of the files. Yeah.
How?
Yeah, by putting Todd Blanche in there, who he knows not going to release the files. files, who he instructed not to release the files, telling Pam Bondi to not release the files, trying to literally prevent Marjorie Taylor Greene from releasing the files in the first place, and then calling her a traitor when she wanted to release it. What he's done with Thomas Massie, given who Thomas Massie tried to release the files, and he literally primaried him out of that position, saying he's the worst congressional member that's ever existed in the history of our country.
Using the liberal logic that I have to face all the time, that still is not him personally. It's those people who agree to do what he says. That's the liberal logic. Oh, you can't say that because it didn't happen. He didn't do it.
So why doesn't he remove Todd
it's not
Blanche?
dominated. Epstein files are not dominated by Democrats, because you can't name two.
Sir, why doesn't he then remove Todd Blanche and put someone in who will release it? After he just did that with
Because
Todd
he's
Blanche.
the president. Why are you not firing your guy that helps you on the show and put somebody better in? Why would you not fire somebody that works on your show, for instance, and not put somebody better in? You get to make the choice. Trump gets to make the choice. Why do you always have to doubt and complain about it?
You're saying he wants the files to be released, but the person who's not releasing them is Todd Blanche.
I did not say that. I did not say that. I said he is the only one that has done any of that.
Yeah, again, like I brought up with the hypothetical, right? Like, I've done more than any student that's ever done it before ever in history. Okay, does not mean they get an A. Okay, they still failed.
Okay, yeah.
And
So
Trump
what's your
purposely
purpose?
tried to prevent
the files.
Please let me explain. Trump purposely tried to prevent the release of the files. Hell, again, he said if you want the release of the files, you never supported him in the first place. Do you want the release of the files?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
No?
Yeah. Again, you're. No, I want him to release the files. I want him to release all of them.
Okay, so then you never supported him in the first place.
Unredacted. Huh?
So you
Because
never
again, I'm not a
supported him in the
single
first
issue
place?
voter. No, I support him completely with the issues that I agree with.
If you want the release of the files, that you never supported him in the first place.
What?
Yeah,
that doesn't even make sense, Don.
He said that if you want the release of the files, that you never supported him in the first place. You want the release of the files. Therefore, under his view, you never supported him in the first place, bud.
I understand. So let me paint a picture for you. Do you think I give a crap if Donald Trump thinks I didn't support him or did support him? Do you think that matters to me?
I mean, yeah, I do actually.
It does not matter to me. I don't care what he thinks of me. Do you?
I think you
do. Does it hurt your feelings if he calls you a name?
No, but I think that you would definitely care about his opinions and thoughts, especially if you were
I do not care about his opinions. I'm policy driven. I don't care who is in that driver's seat. I really don't.
Can I ask you questions then?
I really don't.
Can you name two economic policies that Trump influenced to get? Actually, name one economic policy Trump influenced to get passed that benefit the average American more than it benefit the rich.
The average American.
Yeah.
So we're going to get in an argument because you think that the rich hoard all their money and they do nothing for anybody below them. Right? Is that your opinion?
Answer my question, sir.
No, I need to qualify before I answer you because you're going to challenge me on something that's going to put me in a position where I can't argue with you.
I don't think rich people control anything in our society. I think that everything is a meritocracy. It's a perfect meritocracy, actually.
So the one policy that he did, if you want me just to name one, is securing the border. That helped everyday Americans, including black people.
Wait, so what was the answer? You said secure the border?
He secured the border from illegal immigration pouring into our country.
That's an economic policy? How did that benefit us economically?
I just mentioned to you. It stopped the bleeding from what economically was doing to middle class and poor class.
Okay, so do you have any evidence that immigration is negatively impacting us economically?
Yeah, I told you that I don't have a way to pull up things that you can look up and I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay, so you don't have any evidence for that. And I just want to be clear. I am saying that Trump's policies disproportionately help the rich and wealthy, and he wants a system where they control more, and he's actively trying to create a system where they control more, right? In a system in which they already have disproportionate control over our politics, our political influence,
I respect your opinion,
and in our society.
I do.
Okay, and I think that's a bad thing, and I think that leads to more corruption within our politics.
All right, so here I respect your opinion, but in the real world, and this is kind of the thing I had going through college because I owned my own business then too. You know, the textbook definitions and all these things from teachers, and I'll go, well, this is how it works. I'm going, no, it isn't, right? And so here's the reality of it. So my company makes millions, right? And so I am a better steward with my money than the government will ever be. And I do more for my community than the government would ever do with the same amount of money. Everything I even have to work with the government in things and have to do bids and all kinds of stuff. And everything is twice the price because of me, right? So I have women's shelters, addiction shelters that I support. I do all kinds of stuff, right? So you want to tell me that rich people are bad, right? And they're not.
Okay, so I'm saying you should pay. I'm saying that people who are rich should pay more into the systems. If you're saying you do better with the money than and you put your money into charities, for example, you still get it. Can I please finish speaking? Can you please listen to me, sir? Okay. You think that you put your money into things that are better than just leaving it to the government? Well, you can still do that. You can still do a tax write-off, right, and literally send your money to those different charities, and you can choose instead to send it to those charities rather than send it to the government. That's a choice that you can decide to make yourself.
Right.
Do it then.
So what is a tax write-off? What's the benefit of the tax write-off, and what do I get? So if I got $1,000 I get to write off, what does that actually mean to me in dollars and cents?
It reduces your taxable income by
it's not $1,000, right? Right. So if I pay taxes on that $1,000, and I'm in a 50% tax bracket, that's a $500 savings. Big damn deal. I'd rather spend $1,000. But here's the problem. I'm already paying 50%. And you want me to pay more, right? And here's what will happen. Here's the reality, right? So when I get to the point where I hit that threshold,
I don't want you to pay more than 50%, actually. I don't want you at the level you're at to have to pay more than 50%. You're at 50%, that's fine. You're paying your fair share. The issue is the richest Americans, the top billionaires, not paying their fair share. They're not paying as much as you are. So why are you letting them
I think they
offload?
have the better way of
Please listen to what I'm saying. Why are you letting them offload all of the costs of our federal systems onto you?
Yeah. So all right. So see, I don't see it that way. When I have other friends that are doing things, they have more people, more employees, more taxes they pay, more everything they pay, and you're just kind of like disregarding that, saying, "Oh, they don't pay their fair share," right? But you don't even take into consideration all the people that they employ, all the things that they do that are mandated, not even what they do on their own, and you just make, they just don't pay enough.
Yeah, they don't. If you're not paying, if they're not paying anywhere near the percent you're paying, and they're making more money than you're making, they're not paying their fair share. Do you not agree with that?
But you know the 1%
Wait,
pays.
Sir, do you not agree with that?
No, I don't agree with you.
Okay, so then
I don't agree that they're not paying their fair share.
Even though they're paying a lower effective tax rate than you, making more money than you.
Wait. So, all right, would you rather have 100% of 10,000 or 10% of 100,000?
Say it one more time.
Would you rather have 100% of 10,000 or 10% of 100? I'm sorry, of a million. Sorry, my bad.
Would I rather have $10,000 or 10% of a million?
Right.
I would rather have 10% of a million. That's more money.
Okay. So when the billionaires are paying 10% of the billion, that's significantly more than the person that's paying 10,000 or 100,000, right?
Wait, say it one more time. I'm not following.
How do you not? Man, you quiz people on math. I heard you already do it.
Yeah, so I'm just like confused. Sorry.
If a billionaire pays 10%, that is better than a person making $100,000 paying 10% or 50% or 100%.
Oh, okay.
So 1% of the bill, 1% of the wealthiest pay 50% of our taxes, and you want more.
I understand. So like, watch this. So like, you're saying that if Jeff Bezos paid 1% in taxes, we should be happy because he still paid more in taxes than us?
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. Nobody should pay 1%. Ridiculous.
Wait, but like he still nominally paid more money than us.
I said, if the tax rate were equivalent, everybody paid 20%. The billionaires putting more in tax money.
But they nominally. So again, if Jeff Bezos paid 1%, he'd nominally still pay more than you. So then you can't complain that he only paid 1%.
You can't use the 1% against me. It's a manipulation tactic. I said if everybody pays the same rate, the billionaire is more valuable no matter what you say.
So in the flat tax, I don't think we should have a flat tax. I think that's a regressive. Let me explain. I think the flat tax is actually a bad system because disproportionately it's going to negatively impact the lower income individuals because they spend a greater proportion of their income on consumer goods. Think of it this way. Do you think someone making $10,000 should be taxed the same as someone making $10 million in a year?
No.
Okay, then you disagree with the flat tax.
I just use those numbers to make it understandable to your listeners.
Okay.
I'm not promoting flat tax.
Okay, just making sure. Like, so then you agree that the more money you make, the more percentage tax you should pay.
No, I do agree,
Yeah,
but
so then
up
how
to a
did you
limit.
not
Let
have
me
a
kind of
problem earlier with you paying a higher percentage tax than people who make more money than you?
no, I don't. I didn't have a problem with. Wait, I didn't. I don't think I understood that question right. Say that again.
So then why don't you have a problem with people who are making more money than you paying a lower effective tax rate than you?
No, no. All right. So they are at a higher tax rate, but then use write-offs and work the system to get down lower. Is what you're saying, right? You're not saying they have a lower tax rate.
No, effectively speaking, like the top billionaires do have a lower effective tax rate.
You're telling me that a billionaire doesn't have to pay the same thing that I have to pay
Yes, like
in
effectively
law.
they pay lower effective tax
What do
rates.
you mean
Yes.
by effectively? What do you mean?
So like there are marginal taxes that we have, like the tax brackets, there are marginal tax rates, but the effective tax rate is of your actual income. What percent of your actual income did you end up paying in taxes?
Yeah, but that billionaire pays actual income tax. If he lives like a billionaire, he's going to be paying like a billionaire. And then you also have to consider the fact that his company's also paying taxes. And then you have to consider the fact that
The
here's
companies
what
that
you're
are
trying to
evading
propose.
taxes and don't pay taxes most of the time. So yeah, just
I'm not
like
saying
the point that
illegally. I'm talking about legally.
the point that I want to make is that there are so many ways that they try to evade and get around taxes, and that we need to have manners and things set up so that they do pay their fair share. It is a tragedy.
I'm
It is a
100%
let
down
me.
with paying the fair
I
share. I
understand. See,
am 100% down, but I think Trump kind of said it perfectly when
no, it
Hillary
didn't.
kind of did that to him. You
No,
know what I'm talking about.
so if you want to talk about paying their fair share, what I would say is that Donald Trump's policies ensure that they don't pay their fair share to a greater extent, and
Now,
actually give them
I
a
don't.
massive tax break
See,
at the expense of working
you're-
class people,
see,
because he imposed tariffs that disproportionately impact lower and middle income individuals to a greater percentage than higher income individuals, because they spend a greater proportion of their income
dude.
on cost of living. If you increase that cost of living by increasing,
Are you trying to tell me? Are
okay,
you trying to convince me
I'm gonna
that?
mute you, and I'm gonna thank people and let you sit in timeout for a little bit because we're having a conversation and I'm trying to finish a statement and you're just cutting me off repeatedly. So I'm gonna thank some people and catch up with the donors, and then whenever I'm done, I'm gonna unmute you and we can finish speaking. I have some people to thank though, real quick. Dude, just give me a second. Jose, thank you so much for the $30. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it on Venmo. Thank you very much. Good some W's for Jose in the comment section for the $30 on Venmo. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, Jose. Leo, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Michael, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And Leo, that was so funny, right? And Michael, thank you again for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. That can happen in some circumstances. You're very true. Tina, thank you so much for the $25. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Exactly. Like the exact point could be made against them. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as Heather, thank you for the $1. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously though, thank you so much. Sarah, thank you for the $5. Thank you. And Astrid, thank you so much for the $3. It's been good so far. It's been good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Justina, thank you so much for the $30. Thank you very much. It's always good to see you, Justina. Thank you for the $30. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Midlife Maddie, thank you for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. I totally get you there. It is a lot to deal with, and I hope the best for you. Of course, hope the best for you. Let me make sure I'm completely caught up here on YouTube real quick. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, as always. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. It helps get out to more people. Try to get to 2,000 likes. And if you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Let's try to get to 1 million likes, everybody. Alrighty, let me catch up real quick. Hinta, thank you so much. Hinata, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I appreciate you very much, of course. Thank you. Edward, thank you very much for the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for towards your sanity funds. Should you have one? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Probably. Thank you so much. I love your total abuse of the being stupid. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the hat and mustache as well. Thank you. Yasmin, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. Seriously though, right? It's crazy. Dragon Ball, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Emily, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, they actually do. That's very true. Brand, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section. Yes, I always get to do that. And thank you so much for the $15. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's a civil code for overstaying a visa. It's a misdemeanor for unlawfully entering the country. Brand, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously though, thank you very much. Zach with the $20. Good to see you as always, Zach. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously though, thank you so much. Like that is actually, I think, like the greatest example of literally why these conversations end the way they do. Brand, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Kids are W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Joe, thank you for the $5 or for the $6. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. That is true. That is true as well. You are right. You are right. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. It also doesn't talk about proportions as well, as I would say. And Elizabeth, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. That's really funny. TJ Mama, thank you for the $10. I don't know if you've just seen HB 1232 is introduced in North Carolina. I'd recommend you looking at it. It's just frightening. I'll have to take a look. Thank you for letting me know. Mr. James Bond, too, thank you again for the $20. Thank you very much for the start of Trump's presidency. In January 2025, the black unemployment rate was about 6.2%. The most recent data says it's around 7.3%. It's roughly a 1.1% increase. Yeah, there's been an increase like across the entirety of every community, specifically for unemployment since Trump got in office. And then, Julie, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously, that right? Alrighty, let me unmute you.
Okay, I'm back. I'm here.
Alrighty, you can keep making
Before
your
we
point.
finish the final... Before we finish this final comment, I want to say something to you that's very. I want to thank you for having a calm and decent, wonderful conversation. Because the videos I've seen you in before, you're pretty, confrontational and stuff like that. And I don't find you to be that way in person. Thanks.
Well, I appreciate you very much. Go ahead and make your point.
So I'll give you one last. I'll give you one last thing. So. I'm going to try to make it on a smaller scale because so that callers can understand that work hard and don't make as much as they should. So any of those people like that would not want to pay the 50% I pay, right? I don't have a problem doing it, right? I just go try to make more and cover, right? But here's the thing. When you have somebody like me that says, okay, on this sliding scale of taxpayer, when you hit $2 million, now we're going to tax you another 10% or another 15% of that above that. What the real world does is we go, man, I made $2 million in my first quarter. I got 3 quarters of the year to go. And I'm going to make so much less doing that. I'm just going to just say, hey, we're shutting down. All you guys don't have a job. Go find another job. And I'm going to go on vacation. And that's what you're doing to people that, not necessarily billionaires. I think that you have a good point there. They should pay more. But
I'm sorry, but that actually makes zero sense. Can I explain how that makes zero sense? They would just pay themselves a lower wage themselves, and then they would reinvest it into their companies more. So they still need the companies in order to produce that particular. They still need the company in order to produce that particular wage for themselves. And if they were to completely fire their entire employees, then they limit themselves from making the income in the future.
Yeah.
It could create an incentive for them to then just give themselves a lower wage.
I literally explained to you that I was going to simplify it and not do what you just did so that people could understand. And what you're saying isn't true. I would have no problem if I'm not going to make a dime because it's getting all taxed. I'm not going to sit and do the same work I do when I'm getting 50%. Right? Just not going to happen. Nobody would do that. Nobody's going to work for 50% and then go, oh, now you got to work for 25%. Nobody's going to do that. So, the bottom line is this.
I'm not asking you to work for 25%. No one ever said that.
Well, that's kind of what you presented because you said I'm just going to turn around and reinvest it and all these other stuff. So you're just encouraging me to game the tax system.
I told you what was going to happen. I never said that I endorsed you paying 75%.
No, I was trying to make it simplistic so that people would understand. And again, that comment was making it simplistic.
Nobody's going to make it. I think you're oversimplifying it for yourself then. Because I don't see how I think it's reducing the effectiveness of the explanation. You don't need to reduce the level of understanding for anyone who's in the stream. I bet they're able to understand.
Okay, good. I hope so. So here's the bottom line. When you go after people strictly because when the people, 1% are paying 50% of our taxes and the lower portion of our impoverished people don't pay taxes, and now you want to do more only to gain more government spending. It's not like you're trying to reinvest it into the poor communities. We've proven that doesn't happen. You take every major Democratic city that's gotten billions and billions and billions of dollars, and they're no better off 20 years later, 30 years later, maybe even worse off, right? So government is not the answer. Taxing is not the answer. There's got to be a
you're
different
just
answer
like
to
making
that.
very vague statements. You're not giving any specifics. I would definitely argue that investing in education is very important for educational outcomes. I think
Absolutely.
investing into social services is very important for social services in terms of the benefits for people,
Absolutely.
in terms of reducing negative outcomes in terms of poverty, homelessness, like addiction, and countless different things that people are dealing with. I believe the government should serve as a body to reduce, right, society from these harms. And if we have the capacity
Okay.
to do it through the context of the government, because the government can do it to a greater extent than we ever would be able to by ourselves. Okay,
Yeah.
and then we
I,
can
I
put our
think, I
money
think,
into that through the context of a tax structure. You are paying your fair share if you're paying 50% of your income. No one's asking you to pay more if you're at your level of income. Okay, we're talking specifically about people who are not paying the same percentage as you are, and they're making more money than you. That's the issue that we have. It's not specifically the
right,
people who are paying 50% of their income already. And I'm assuming then
right,
you live in like California or New York, right?
yeah. So what now?
I'm assuming you live in California or New York then?
No. So
Unless you live in a state with a certain state tax, you don't pay 50%.
there is, I live in a state that has certain state tax.
Okay.
And so basically what I'm trying to point out is that the government does not do better with our money. I've already expressed to you and real experience on that. Everything is twice what it should be, and it has to be because of many things we could get into. We won't. But the thing is this, in my community, the wealthy do more than the government does, but we have to have the government for those certain programs where the wealthy is not involved. But on an inherent level of what is working and what works, the private community does a better job than the government. So we have to have a
I
mix,
need you to be
and
more
we have to
specific. Okay,
encourage these people.
so let's keep this more specific. I'm gonna direct the conversation more now. Do you think that Donald Trump's tariff policy is good?
See, you're not going to like my answer. I think the tariff policy and from the concept of making sure that we're not getting screwed over, which makes us have more, worse pricing in the fact that we were getting tariffed like crazy going out of our country instead of what's coming in, is a bigger problem than the small percentage of the tariffs. And I'll give you an example. The worst tariff that I had to pay in anything I do was 7% higher on a product, right? So that's the worst I had to pay, right? And then now you're trying to equate that with people going to everyday locations, and even if they paid 7% more, then somehow that's a five-alarm fire, right? When we are trying to from this decade is old where we're getting screwed. So you have to tell the whole truth. If you want to argue that it's wrong, at least tell the whole truth of why it happened.
I just asked you whether or not you like his tariff policy. That's all I asked. That's it.
But right, and the answer was exactly what I said.
Yeah,
From
but
the
like you tried
aspect
to act like
of
I tried to frame it in a
our
certain way
exports,
or
yes.
something. All I did was ask you if you like the tariff policy.
Well, my apologies, Parker. But I'm just telling you, I like a lot about the tariffs program. I don't like if it affects
finish my response?
disproportionately affect the lower class. But sometimes you have to do things for the greater good, and I don't think it affects them like you think it does.
So 7% might not be.
Nobody I know in my employees or anything have stopped buying what they bought. Nobody said I can't buy that now because of tariffs.
Well, then you probably just don't know people specifically who are impacted by it, because there are countless businesses that are impacted by it.
Well, who specifically are
Can
you
I
talking
please
about?
finish without you cutting me off?
I'm sorry.
There are people in the comment section that have had to pay these things directly. If you want like hyper specific examples, I can, but I can tell you the increase in the cost specifically do end up putting businesses out, because the cost might not be too much for you, but it is for other people in the industry that don't run the same margins as you, that haven't become as profitable as you yet, that haven't established themselves in terms of market share in the same degree that you have. So you have to understand that people are in different conditions than you, and just because you or people around you have been impacted by something doesn't mean it doesn't impact people to a massive extent. Plus, this has caused inflation, right? We've actually seen that a Federal Reserve report came out and said we'd be below pre-pandemic levels of inflation if Donald Trump never imposed the tariffs in the first place. So that's a lot of relief for Americans if we were to be literally multiple percentage points lower inflation if Donald Trump were not in the position of presidency.
I think the inflation is more along the lines of of the problem with what he's done with Iran than it is about the tariffs. But I'll concede to whatever your comment there. But I will fire back or challenge the fact that you say that these people have been that don't have the success that I have somehow managed to absorb a lot more tariff money or expenses than I have. I mean, that's a ridiculous thing. There's no such thing as that, right? So if they pay 7% more, that 7% equates to everybody, not just them or me. I mean, the numbers are numbers, right? So you're telling me that people stop buying, they can't buy their Starbucks coffee now. Specific,
I like how Hyper specifically
a stupid
picks
example.
a
They're going to continue to buy
company.
their Starbucks coffee.
Like you picked a large company. Like you understand who's going to be disproportionately impacted by this to a greater extent are the smallest companies possible that because of their margins are going to be disenfranchised, especially those that rely upon getting their products from foreign countries.
So you're attempting to convince me that listen, here's the real world, okay? Not a single person except on this platform, not one person or in any other conversation on the live talks has ever complained about what the tariffs cost them and what they couldn't buy from it. Not one person. Only
yes,
this
they
one.
have.
This is the only time.
What do you mean this is the only time? I have heard countless people complain. Can you please stop for a second? I've heard countless people complain about the tariffs, including people that voted for Trump in the past. And then when they saw the tariff coming in, they were like, oh, yeah, like that's happened all the time. There are countless people. There have been so many people talking about how this happened.
Okay. But that's the same people that would also complain about a 1% increase in sales tax in their area to get better roads. It's the same scenario. It's not like tariffs somehow just entered their life and just made their life get destroyed. I mean, that's a ridiculous argument.
For plenty of businesses, it did, and it made it worse. Now, you're saying it completely destroys is separate. It makes it worse off, is the point that we're making. Is that like Donald Trump's policies directly make it harder for people who are lower and middle income proportionally? Because when you replace a percentage income tax with percentage tariffs, right, you're really shifting the burden of taxation because most of the income is going to come in through tariffs from
but didn't they reduce taxes up on it? Didn't they reduce taxes or keep the tax code in that the Democrats wanted to the Democrats wanted to, am I wrong on this? Maybe I am. Didn't they want to add taxes to us if that didn't pass again? Weren't we going to get increased taxes from Democrats?
No. Kamala Harris wanted to maintain all the tax cuts applicable to income earners under $400,000 a year, and she even wanted to extend tax cuts such as the $6,000 child tax credit for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 through them being 5 years old, $3,000 through them being 18, $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes, $50,000 tax deductible for small businesses in the first year of them starting out. So I can point to countless things that they advocated for. Okay,
but all those things have
self-control is needed really badly.
All those things have equal and
you should wait until after I'm done speaking to start speaking.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
No, you can make your point now. I just want to tell you that for future purposes.
I apologize for that. I apologize. If what you're saying is that you wanted to extend what Trump had done or put in a plan that's remotely close, but the taxation was under that plan that just got extended a year ago, then why did they all battle that? Why did Democrats battle that if it's so good? Why would they say, no, we need more? Because they literally did. We're going to tax you more. They literally did say that. Are you saying they didn't? They wanted to tax people more, and you're complaining about tariffs.
Most of the tax cuts in the context of the bill were applicable to the highest income individuals. And I was telling you that Democrats support tax cuts for working class people, but do not support tax cuts for the very rich and wealthy, because that's what's needed specifically in order to be able to pay for social programs we need. Zeus, thank you so much for the Viking Hammer.
Okay. I understand. Again, I appreciate the conversation. You are a lot nicer than I anticipated it was going to be, and I do appreciate that. But thank you for allowing me to speak. And
can I finish making my point broadly?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Donald Trump's tax policy disproportionately raises taxes on working class people because people who are lower and middle income spend a greater proportion of their income on consumer goods, which if you have inflation is disproportionately going to raise prices for those consumer goods, which is going to disproportionately negatively impact the lower and middle income individuals. And then really, when you decreased the taxes in terms of the tax policy, what the Republicans are advocating for, it's really disproportionately helping the rich and wealthy. So you're shifting the burden of taxation right? Instead of it disproportionately coming from the rich and wealthy, now it's disproportionately coming from working class and lower income individuals.
Okay. All right. So here's what I would say. So what you kind of, the way you kind of form that means, because he's given tax cuts to the wealthy, the poor are paying more, and but you're kind of doing that in a nuanced way with saying because they spend their money, right? Not literal taxation. So if the poor
taxation.
Get no tax, no, the federal government does not tax them more because they tax the rich less.
Yes, they are.
Explain that.
Tariffs tax them more because they increase the cost of the products that they are inevitably going to buy.
Right. So if you, which would you rather have? I'd rather pay 20% in my income tax and 7% more on tariffs, or 30-something% on my income tax. It doesn't even make sense. But you want to equate that to the rich.
That's not the comparison.
You want to equate that to the rich. All right. So let me rephrase it. Do the rich pay? Do their tax benefits, their tax cuts that they got? Did the poor or the middle class get tax cuts too, or did they pay more?
So again, like I told you already, the tax cuts. I understand the tax cuts applicable in the context of the TCJA are applicable to income earners under $400,000 a year, is something supported by mainstream Democrats such as Kamala Harris, who is the presidential nominee for the Democrats, who wanted to maintain all the tax cuts applicable to income earners under $400,000 a year and only increase taxes on the income over $400K a year.
Right.
By a few percentage points.
But you're saying everybody agreed to that? Or everybody wanted that or not?
That would have been passed that would have passed in Congress because Democrats across the board, almost across the board, support tax cuts for working class people. And want to increase taxes on the rich and wealthy. So you've stated what the Democrats wanted. So what did the Republicans actually do with that middle class? Repeat what you just said. I don't understand.
You gave me what the Democrats wanted to do with the no taxation under 400,000. Yeah, I think she even duplicated Trump's thing with no tax on tips and stuff like that. But what did the Republicans actually do in extending and revising the tax bill that got passed? What did they do for middle class actually do? Did they increase their taxes or reduce them?
The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act does decrease taxes for working class people, right?
Okay.
It just, most of the money goes to the rich and wealthy, and you could have decreased taxes for working class people to a greater extent, or put money into policies to benefit those working class people to a greater extent if you didn't give most of the money in the tax policy to the richest and wealthiest Americans. But like I told you, Democrats like Kamala Harris maintained and wanted to maintain all the tax cuts in the bill applicable to income earners under $400,000 a year, and only wanted to increase income tax on income over $400,000 a year.
Now, I understood what you've explained there, but let me ask you a question. So you said they could have done more for the middle class if they didn't give tax credits to the wealthy, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So did the Republican bill reduce taxes for the middle class the same or more than what your Democrat proposed? The
Democrats would maintain all the tax cuts for individuals under $400,000 a year. It would increase the amount of tax cuts that people would get who are lower and middle income, such as the child tax credit, the housing tax credit, and the tax deductible for small businesses starting out, like I mentioned earlier, which would decrease taxes on working class people to a greater extent, whereas Donald Trump advocated for those same tax cuts for working class people that were lower, except for all the expansions to child tax credit, housing tax credit, and tax deductible for small businesses starting out. In the TCJ and the Big Beautiful Bill, that's the ones he supported.
I understood all that.
Yeah, and most of the money in the bill goes to the rich and wealthy because he wanted tax cuts.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's okay, man. Go ahead. I don't understand how you can say you don't mean to, but go ahead.
I said I apologize. So what I asked you was, and you didn't answer, was did the Republican bill reduce taxes for middle class the same or more reduction than what you just cited as the proposed Democrat policy? Straightforward answer, please.
Repeat the question one more time.
Did the Republican bill keep taxes at the same or reduce taxes the same or more tax reduction than what you just said the Democrats wanted to propose? What did actually happen versus your proposal?
Yeah, less tax cuts than what would be proposed based upon what I'm referencing for Democrats.
All right. So what really happened is the Republicans did not decrease it more as the same or more than what Democrat proposal was.
The Democrat proposal.
So that means they increased it.
the Democratic proposal specifically under the Harris administration was to decrease taxes more for working class people than the Trump administration's policy.
Okay. So if her proposal was in play, that taxes would be less than what they currently are
Yes.
for middle class, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I should have dug deeper into her policies that I never got a chance to hear, which I tried. But
You
yeah,
did have a chance to hear them.
Well.
She said them at the debates. She had them on our policy
Yeah,
website.
she wasn't clear. I mean, I watched the debates,
She
and it
was
was
very clear. I can play the clip right now if you'd like to hear it.
No, I trust you. I'm not debating you on that. I'm just telling you, if she did say those things, there was some other reason that I didn't hear it. I don't know. The block. I don't know. Maybe it's my fault.
Would be a
but I'm
like very few people have ever seen.
good debate. Taxed in a long time. Colin Opposition, the only person
stage here tonight, often asks his supporters, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid, and I am actually the only person on this stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing. We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to startup small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan...
We'll stop it there. Those were policies she mentioned in the first 8 minutes of the debate.
Yeah, now I remember. And here's where I had the problem with that, right? Because what I think what Trump did better in that is that Trump actually told you how he was going to do it and how it was going to get paid, and she didn't. It was just a dream box of wants, right? So I didn't get any clear, never once did I get any clear policy that would actually show that it can happen. Those things can happen. And then you combine that with the fact that, you know, nothing really went that way. And I think the COVID had something to do with a lot of it, but nothing really went right. So great, she has a great plan, but she doesn't know how she's going to do it and how it's going to get paid for. And as a businessman, I can't assign to that. Can you show any clips where she said how she would do it?
President, you have long vowed to repeal the Act, also known as Obamacare. You have failed to accomplish that. You now say you're going to keep Obamacare, quote, unless we can do something much better. Last month, you said, quote, we're working on it. So tonight, 9 years after you first started running, do you have a plan, and can you tell us what it is?
Obamacare was lousy health care, always was. It's not very good today. And what I said, that if we come up with something, and we are working on things, we're going to do it and we're going to replace it. But remember this, I inherited Obamacare because Democrats wouldn't change it. They wouldn't vote for it. They were unanimous. They wouldn't vote to change it. If they would have done that, we would have had a much better plan than Obamacare.
Giving Trump a spot here. That's awesome.
They wouldn't vote for it. I had a choice to make when I was president. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, never going to be great, or do I let it rot? And I felt I had an obligation, even though politically it would have been good to just let it rot and let it go away. I decided, and I told my people, the top people, and they're very good people. I have a lot of good people in that administration. We read about the bad ones. We had some real bad ones, too, and so do they. They have really bad ones. The difference is they don't get rid of them. But I had a choice to make. Do I save it and make it as good as it can be, or do I let it rot? And I saved it. I did the right thing. But it's still never going to be great, and it's too expensive for people. And what we will do is we're looking at different plans. If we can come up with a plan that's going to cost our people, our population, less money and be better health care than Obamacare, then I would absolutely do it. But until then, I'd run it as good as it can be run.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. But if
That's perfect. You just gave. Thank you for being fair, Parker. That was really good because that was very good because he.
Wait, so hold up. That's in that very debate. She actually explained her plans, and if we look at the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, her plans would have added $4 trillion less in terms of a central estimate in terms of debt-related spending over the next 10 years comparative to Trump's plan. So actually, she had a greater capacity to pay for it because she was willing to tax the rich. What you're not considering, though, is that Donald Trump had 9 years at this point in time when he was in the debates to literally develop a plan for healthcare, and he had concepts of a plan. He still is president to this day, hasn't replaced the ACA, hasn't done that, and he has concepts of a plan. He still hasn't passed a policy. 10 years after he said that he was going to repeal and replace the ACA, and yet you're going to sit there and apply this standard to Kamala Harris, say that she didn't have a plan established when she literally had 107 days, developed a plan, gave you a 70-page website that you could actually see the plans, listed out how she was going to pay for them to a greater extent than Donald Trump, and then you still thought Donald Trump was a preferable candidate after he literally said concepts of a plan for healthcare 10 years later after saying he was going to repeal and replace the ACA? Embarrassing.
Again, I'm not a single issue voter. If you want to say he says concepts, I'm just telling you, Obamacare sucked. It cost me half my employees. So he didn't do anything about it. I'm pissed about it. He should have done more. Period. Because Obamacare sucks. Literally sucks. It cost me half my employees.
Then why did he save it?
When he started it.
Then why did Trump save it?
I don't know why. I'm not sitting there trying to defend Trump on it. I mean, if he doesn't have a concept, if he has only a concept, he has only a concept. But you're talking
his
about
own words. He saved it. He saved it. His own words.
He's what?
His own words. He saved it.
He didn't save it. He said he did not.
He didn't save it? Wait. He didn't save it?
I saved
Wait.
it.
No, wait.
He didn't save it?
Is important.
As good as
Context
it
is
could be,
important.
Or do I let it rot?
Context is important.
And I saved it.
What?
All right.
I saved it.
What'd you do, Donald?
All right, look, Parker,
And
stop.
I saved it.
Stop.
Oh, you did that, Donald? Okay.
Stop. Let me show you why you're wrong. Okay? Will you let me?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me why Trump's wrong.
All right. So what Trump said was, in initial stages of that, he was going to eliminate it, completely eliminate it, right? And instead, he saved it, and by not eliminating it, not saved it because he's a savior. Your context is way off, dog. He saved it by not eliminating it.
He saved the ACA. He saved Obamacare. Woo!
He saved it by not eliminating it.
My president right there. He saved the ACA. Let's go.
Yeah,
my president. Woo! Trump.
Yeah, Kamala.
He saved it. Trump saved the ACA. Woo!
Yeah,
Trump care.
Kamala.
Trump care.
Kamala just got placed into the running because Biden was so great that
if Obamacare was named Trump care, Trump would support it.
Who cares? Make both sides funny if you're going to be funny. Do both sides.
No,
I'm
do
serious.
both sides. If it was renamed Trump care, he would support it.
Pull up the debate between Trump and Biden. Do that if you're so perfect. Do that. Make fun of both sides, dog. Because I don't care if you laugh at Trump. I laugh at him.
Yeah, but the point that I'm making is that you said that she didn't have a plan for all the things she advocated for.
I
did have a plan, and Trump is the one that lacked a plan.
Nope. She had a plan, which was a wish box. Her plan did not include how she'd get there, and you say it's by taxing the rich.
It didn't.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, it did.
Bad move.
It did include how she was going to get there. You're wrong.
She massively lost, and that's one of the reasons.
She didn't massively lose. She lost by a smaller margin than what Trump lost by in 2020, and he still thinks he won.
Oh, yeah. Have you looked at those numbers for Biden?
Biden won by more votes.
2 million more votes than any other president.
Wait, okay, so you don't believe the 2020 election. You see, he's coping so bad at his loss in 2020 that he can't even accept the election results. So, by the way, let me ask you this question.
I accepted them.
What makes you, hey, bud.
I accept it.
Oh, you do? You accept the 2020 election results? You accept that Trump won
Yeah, I've always
or Trump
accepted
lost?
that because there's no point in arguing about it. But numbers are numbers, and I'm a numbers guy. Numbers are numbers, and they were way off, dog. And you can't.
You're a
even
numbers
deny
guy.
that.
Didn't you come on the live stream and say that you don't look at statistics? You just go based upon your feelings.
Whoa. See, this is what y'all do, man. Don't do that. I said I'm not in front of a computer to be able to talk statistics with you to challenge you. That's what I said.
Okay. So, but you are a numbers guy. You like statistics, and that you need evidence in order to justify your opinions.
I'd like evidence. Yeah, for sure. And there's a difference between proof and evidence, right?
Okay. And what is proof? What's the difference between proof and evidence? Can you tell me?
Okay. You cannot prove to me that we're having this conversation right now. You could be dreaming, you could be doing it, but the evidence shows that we are, because you can replay the video and all those things.
Can you prove to me that your mom loves you? Is
No.
that possible, under your view?
No, but you can have the evidence.
Can you prove to yourself that your mom loves you?
Yeah, you're presenting my argument. Thank you.
I'm asking you, can you prove to yourself that your mom loves you?
No, by evidence.
Can you prove to yourself that your anyone that you love in your life loves you?
Yeah, you're just validating my
prove
argument.
that
Thank
to
you.
yourself?
No, I can't prove anything. You can't prove anything.
You can't
can
prove
only do
anything.
evidence and make your
Can
end result.
let me ask you this question. Can you prove the earth is spherical?
No, you can't prove it.
No,
but
you
can
can't
show
prove that the
evidence
earth is
of it.
spherical?
With evidence only. You can't prove it without evidence.
Wait, you think you can't prove that the earth is spherical? I think I can prove that the earth is spherical.
Without evidence, you cannot prove things.
I do have evidence.
You misuse that word.
I have
prove,
evidence
right?
that the earth is spherical. Do you think
yeah.
the earth is spherical?
That's exactly what I'm saying. With evidence, you can then determine that is enough evidence to be a form of proof and to be proof.
There
right?
you go.
But you literally cannot prove it without that evidence.
So there is a colloquial usage of the term proof and prove that includes a certain threshold of evidence that you're willing to accept it to be true. Okay, that's what you're going to see proof in that context. The way that you were using proof there was like you need certainty.
Right.
You're running
Kinda
like a solipsist argument, and you don't even know what that is. So, like, it's ridiculous. Like you don't need certainty to believe that things have been proven.
I think. Listen, before you get to the point like you do on your videos and stuff, I would love to just and thank you for time. It's really cool. Been fun. Really true.
Okay.
You're just going down that road, and I like you at this person. I don't like that other person.
Who's the other person?
The other person I've seen in the videos.
Who's that other person in the videos?
The combative, nasty, combative, constantly manipulating and all that stuff. You didn't do any of that in this conversation, and I appreciate it.
You think I am constantly manipulating, and I'm how
Yeah,
so?
yeah. I mean, you constantly. You'll use, like, you'll take a specific word and take it out of a sentence and just totally omit the context, and then battle that word and take somebody down to a different road to get away from the road that they were on. And it's a tactic that it may be innate. I mean, it may be, you may not be doing it intentionally, but you do it. If you go back and look at your own videos, you'll see yourself, right? And so here's the problem that happens when you talk to somebody.
Think I'm purposefully manipulating because I take a specific word out of context. So wait, do you think that I think maybe you might be misinterpreting me, like clarifying something as like manipulation?
I'm not misinterpreting. I know the difference because we've had a conversation, and I know the difference. I explained the difference.
Yeah. So to clarify, like, do you think me asking someone if this is what they meant is going to be taking them out of context?
You're doing it right now.
So now I'm doing it. Now I'm doing it. Clarification. So
you're literally doing it in real time. So now you're trying to dissect a comment that you know contextually what I'm talking about, and you want to dissect the words, right? Just accept the fact that I feel like, and you don't have to agree with me.
I was right. Clarification to this guy is manipulation. Yeah, Parker clarifying things is totally Parker manipulating the conversation and being a horrible person.
Listen,
How
your
terrible.
Generation is cooked, dog.
My generation
cooked,
is
man.
cooked
Your
because they
generation is
ask for clarification.
No cap, man. You're cooked. No, not because you ask for clarification, because you can't seem to do what I'm telling you don't do, and you'll literally do it in that moment. Literally.
I'm literally just asking clarification, and you're assuming clarification is me engaging in manipulation. That's absurd.
You're doing it right now.
Asking for more context to understand someone's perspective is not the same as literally engaging in manipulation.
You did not need more context, and you're asking for more context. You know exactly what I meant, exactly what I said, and you want to challenge it via manipulation.
How do you know? If I'm asking for clarification, how do you know? That's my understanding of what you're saying.
Right. There's a difference in going, hey, can you explain to me more what
you just cut out? You just swiped out.
There's a difference. There's a difference in saying, hey, man, I need some clarification because I don't think I'm really understanding. And you've done that several times in this conversation. And going, oh, asking for clarification is somehow manipulative. I mean, it's just like, it doesn't make sense.
So you're misunderstanding me. So you understand I can ask for clarification in different ways. I can ask for clarification by like I don't know what you mean. Can you repeat? Can you explain further on that? And I can ask for clarification of like, oh, is this what you mean? And those are different ways of asking clarification that are totally fair.
No, it's kind of like, you can say it's totally fair, but I think that a lot of times that we don't understand where our tone is and what our real. Here's the deal: you know exactly why you were doing it. I don't need to explain it to you. I don't need to convince your viewers. You know,
I think it's
between you and I,
dishonest for
we
you. It's
know.
actually, I think it's manipulative of you to try to literally say, "Oh, I know what your own intentions are when you're engaging in these actions better than you do yourself.
Yeah,
So I'm
but see,
going to
we're off on the side
superimpose that
road
your
now.
intention was to manipulate people instead of just asking for clarification when it's clearly obvious to everyone who's watching the stream that I was just asking for clarification." Okay? You
Right.
are acting ridiculous right now.
All right, so let me not act ridiculous. So I made the comment about how you did in your videos that I didn't like that person and I like this person, right? And I gave
Yeah,
you examples,
of
and
me
you
just
want to
asking for
defend it. You didn't
clarification.
ask for more clarification.
No, you just don't like how I ask for clarification in that way, which I can
You're
understand.
assuming
Maybe if you
no.
don't like me asking for clarification that way, I'll try not to do that if you don't want that to happen in the conversation. But that's a way that I ask for clarification because I'm trying to understand the argument more in specific, to understand and
Okay.
at least outline that they accept the premises of the argument. Because when I get
Right.
someone to ask out that, like, or to say out their argument again, that is specific, so that I can be like, okay, you believe this, that logically entails this.
All
Like,
right.
so
So
it's the use of logic.
why would you challenge me or even need clarification on something that you don't agree with? Number one, but that kind of answered that own question. But why would you ask for clarification on me saying, I feel like you are a better person right now in our conversation that I've seen in your videos because I saw a lot more combativeness, a lot more manipulation, and you want to defend your manipulation, right? You don't have to. It's just a feeling I had and what I saw. Just accept it and say, hey, man, I got to check that out. I'll do better. You don't need any clarification. The context was there.
It is bullshit that you just get to claim whatever you want about the
You
actions
can
that I've
deny
engaged
it.
in, and I just have to accept that. No, shut the up. Genuinely, that's insane to say that I just have to accept whatever you say
Dude,
about my
you wouldn't
conduct
like an
that
insult war
existed
with me, man.
on videos is
Just
insane.
don't.
No, I don't have to accept whatever you said as a representation of it. No, I
See,
don't have to just be like,
this is,
oh yeah, I'm gonna look into that and I'll do better. Let me just accept everything you said. No,
no,
I don't think
no.
that's a
See, that's what
charitable
you
way.
see. That's what you
Stop
hear.
talking.
That's
I don't think
that's
that is a charitable way of defining the way that I engage in the context of videos. So I was just describing that's not charitable. Let me see and understand really where you're coming from to see kind of what you're talking about in the scenario. All right, and that was totally fair of me to do so. It is insane of you and really manipulative of you to say that no, I shouldn't question anything that you just said about how I conducted myself, and instead I should just accept what you're saying right away without question, no matter what. That's actually manipulative. So unless you can actually criticize your own behavior there and try to actually criticize it when I literally am outlining the specific nature of what's manipulative, instead of you just describing my actions as manipulative and literally just say that it's manipulative even though I was just asking for clarification, okay? That is up. That is insane. I can't believe that you'd be okay with doing that. And to try to generalize that on my entire generation, say, oh, your generation is so cooked because of this, is the most embarrassing thing you could possibly do. This has nothing to do with my generation, has nothing to do with other people, or a generalizing claim that you can make that literally satisfies your own internal feelings about the world around you.
okay. All right. So wonderful rant and everything, and talked about things I never did, never said, and telling you and giving you what I saw in you doesn't need to be accepted. I'm not asking you to accept what I said. I don't care if you accept it. I was making an observation of what I saw and praising you for not being that way, and then you turn into it, dude. I'm out, man.
Me criticizing what you
You're a
just said
shithole,
then
dog.
means that I'm a shithole, I'm a terrible person.
Shithole.
Yeah, run away. You're scared of just engaging in those types of conversations. I called out your behavior and you're mad about it. That is incredibly insane that you just tried to label my behavior that way. I provide any level of criticism of it, and then you immediately cry and shut down and throw a tantrum and leave. How embarrassing, dude. You said I was nice the entire conversation, and then immediately when I put a lot more criticism on your view for how you just portrayed, specifically how I conducted myself, then you literally crash out. It's embarrassing, bro. Well, I just got a second flag for harassment and bullying anyway. Actually, it wasn't me who got it. The guest got it for harassment and bullying. Apparently, he was harassing and bullying me. So let me thank some people real quick, and then I do have to do a quick restart here real quick. I do have to do a quick restart. It is like 12 o'clock, so we still have at least another hour and 15 minutes or so left on the stream, everybody. We still have an hour and 15 minutes left. Benjamin, by the way, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So asking follow-up questions is manipulation now. Seriously, though, right? And like he literally just wanted me just to accept. He says, "Oh, I don't want you just to accept it." Right? You were saying, "Oh, I'm gonna look into that later," and I'm sorry. Like you're telling me that I need to like take accountability for something I didn't do. Right? Like I didn't engage in manipulation. You were also trying to say that I constantly engage in manipulation. Yeah, I don't think that's a charitable. Like so he says like, "Oh, I was trying to be nice to you." Well, when you were trying to be nice to me, you were trying to demonize my behavior continually in a constant manner. So that wasn't actually you being nice to me. It was like a passive aggressive jab at me while trying to like act like you're nice. Like that's not actually like trying to give me a compliment. Like what? And then Laura, thank you for the $10, and then Joe, thank you for the $6. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. That would have been a good question to ask. Thank you. Paige, thank you so much for the $1. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, that's base. That's base. W Lenny. And I'm completely caught up there. I've did a restart here real quick. I'll be right back here on TikTok. For everyone on YouTube, you can stay around. We get to stay around. There's no restart I have to do here. Just here on TikTok, it only take 10 seconds. All you have to do is click the profile picture in the top left. Click it again. You'll be on my screen. Refresh and just give it a second. I'll be right back. I have like another hour and 15 minutes at least left on the stream. Alrighty, we'll be right back, everyone. Alrighty. Let's hit that quick restart. Alrighty. Let me go and thank all the people here on YouTube. Actually, I have some people to thank over on YouTube. Hugo, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you very much. Gay Uncles, thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. Hugo, thank you so much for the $4. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Dobro, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously, though. Megan, thank you for the $100. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You give me help. I have 24 and 26-year-old kids, quote unquote kids, and you guys all give me help. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Megan. Thank you for the $100. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give me some W's for Megan in the comments section. That is seriously so kind of you. Thank you so much. Bridget as well. Thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was very crazy, and he was very condescending. Odious, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10 as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously, though, it's absolutely insane. Thank you so much. Trevor, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section. Yeah, he just completely ignores the average American, and it's like, oh, I'm just going to care about what impacts me personally. Trevor, thank you for the $5 again. Thank you. Yasmin, thank you for the $5. MLG, thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Aaron, thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. I saw that earlier. And Hugo, thank you for the $2. Alrighty, I'm completely caught up. Throne, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much for manipulating me every day while I work.